From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Brenda Molina Navidad. Canada Post is making deliveries in some cities this weekend to get more items to doors in time for Christmas. Canadian Press reporter Lisa Laporte says the Postal Service has processed its backlog of parcels from the month-long strike and expects a significant portion of them to be delivered in the coming days.
The Crown Corporation says new commercial mail can be dropped off for processing while scheduled parcel pickup services are also back. But it says it won't start accepting new international mail until December 23rd as it works through a backlog of international mail and parcels.
And Canadians should still expect domestic package delays into the new year. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau rejuvenated his cabinet with fresh faces this week in a shuffle that came just days after Chrystia Freeland's bombshell resignation as finance minister. More than a dozen Liberal MPs are now openly calling for Trudeau to resign. It caps an end to a tumultuous week for the federal Liberals. But it's also been a tumultuous year for the party, and Immigration Minister Mark Miller sat down with the Canadian Press to discuss it. He says Canada still needs immigration, but noted the system needed some discipline to get it back on track.
There's no shying away from the fact that there's some stuff that I think we could have gotten better. I think there's a lot of good that has happened as well, and I think people recognize that, whether it's the singular among our peers in making our workforce younger, which is important to a country that is aging.
He also says there's a growing backlash in Canada against immigration as rapid population growth stresses housing, healthcare, and other systems. Ottawa is proposing new rules to the air passenger protection regulations.
The Canadian Transportation Agency's amendments would require carriers to provide meals to passengers whose flights are delayed at least 2 hours, along with overnight accommodation if necessary. Airlines would also have to provide refunds within 15 days if a passenger prefers to be reimbursed rather than rebooked when their flight is canceled or delayed at least 3 hours. Ottawa says exceptional circumstances include security threats, unscheduled airport closures, bird strikes, weather, or aircraft damage that could affect flight safety. The changes are now open to a 75-day feedback period. Naira Ahmed, The Canadian Press.
Those who traveled through Canada's largest airport earlier this month may have been exposed to measles. Reporter John Kennedy has more on Toronto's Pearson Airport.
Toronto Public Health says a person with a case of measles took Emirates airline flight EK241 from Dubai to Toronto on Sunday, December 8th. Those who were in Terminal 1 in the Toronto airport from roughly 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. that day may also have been exposed, as the measles is a highly contagious virus that can linger in the air and on surfaces for up to 2 hours.
Anyone who may have been exposed should check that they're vaccinated. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, after losing 2 straight in overtime, the Calgary Flames want back in the win column today with the Chicago Blackhawks in town. The Edmonton Oilers host the San Jose Sharks in another Alberta afternoon game in the NHL. Tonight, the Ottawa Senators look to extend their winning streak to 6 in a row when they visit the Vancouver Canucks. The Winnipeg Jets host the Minnesota Wild. The Montreal Canadiens are at home to the Detroit Red Wings, and the New York Islanders visit the Toronto Maple Leafs. Canada's Reese Howden has scored a World Cup ski cross victory before heading into the holiday break.
10, 5, Mahomes is into the end zone! Touchdown!
Patrick Mahomes threw for 260 yards and a touchdown while running for a score on his ailing ankle, as the Kansas City Chiefs took a big step towards securing the number 1 seed in the AFC playoffs with a 27-19 victory over the Houston Texans. From the Canadian Press, I'm Brenda Molina Navidad.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.